Hey, this is David Beckham for East Flippers, back in my office. Going to do a midweek update on where we're at with sales so far this week and so far in January. Numbers show that we're up compared to where we were last year. So let's talk a little bit about why that's happening and what I think has changed from over last year, and we'll take a look at what's sold. Okay, first of all, let's take a quick look at what's sold earlier this week. We're going to go through a few things. Some of these have already been shipped out, so I'll pop up pictures and show you what we did. But we did sell another comic book, a Sergeant Fury number 76. It's in a fine to very fine condition, a 1969 Marvel, yes, Silver Age. Sold that for $8, and we get $5.99 shipping on that. We also sold some video games. Those were Gran Turismo 5 and Gran Turismo 5 Prologue for PlayStation 3. These are complete. They actually sold for $13.72, and we had $6.99 shipping. This is part of the sale that just ended earlier this week. We restarted another sale, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes in the tools when I talk about some of that stuff that we've been doing. Also sold another comic book, Captain America Steve Rogers #1. This is a newer modern book. It's a first print, Hail Hydra Marvel 2016 key issue. So this one actually sold for $10, and we got $5.99 shipping. That is the second copy of that I've actually sold, and both of them sold within a week. So it just got basically listed and then sold fairly quick. The other thing we sold that's been on our inventory for a very long time was this University of Virginia Cavaliers book bag. It has a little headphone accessory and all that stuff, but it was in our inventory what seemed like forever. So this actually sold full price, and it was after our sale was done for $16.99. We picked it up at an Amazon bins. I think we maybe paid $1 for it, and it finally sold. It's been in there for a while, so it was kind of nice to see it sell. So that was the stuff that sold earlier this week that we've already shipped out. And overall, I think we're having a good week. I mean, it's not great. I'm not going to say that we're setting the world on fire, but we're at $162 for this week so far. And I do have 4 orders that are going to go out today, and the weekend still to come. So we'll see what happens. I think, when you compare our numbers, though, I kind of like to always look and see where we're at and try to figure out what is different from what we did last year compared to this year. So we are actually 86% above, if we look at from the January 1st till now, of where we were last year, 86% over, which is considerable when you think about it. Our number of quantities sold is up a little bit by like 5.3%. Our average sale price is up by 82% at $31. So I think we're starting the year out right. And the fact that we're ahead from last year does say a few things, and I attribute a lot of this to a couple things, and I'll tell you exactly what I feel that has been a little bit more of a success for us, and especially as a part-time seller. One is we use the tools for eBay that they give us, and I utilize all of the tools. Now, I realize there are some people out there are going to tell you, oh, I don't do this, I don't promote, I don't do all that. I use a lot of these tools because for us, if for our business, it works. It may not work for your business. It may not be something you're comfortable with, but it is something I'm comfortable with. One of the tools that we use and we use regularly is the newsletter tool. So if you have a store subscription, you can send out a newsletter. We send out at least 1 or 2 a month, period. And then for every sale that we run and every kind of a discount that we do, we send out ones additional to that. And we always look for the people that have purchased from us before. So we set these lists up. If you've bought from us before, you'll get a newsletter. And we try to build followers on our store as well. So we've gone from last year, as we really started digging into that newsletter, we went from honestly about 29 or 30 followers to over 200. Now, that's not a huge number compared to some people when you say you have 2,000 or 3,000 people following your store, but for us, that's a big jump. The ultimate goal is, of course, to get as many followers as you can on your store, because the more people you have, every time you put a new item up there, then somebody's gonna, see it, and they're gonna get notifications, hey, the seller that you follow has this new items. So that's what's important about getting that part in there so that you can actually build that following. Because the bigger the following, I personally believe, the less you have to promote. We promote at about 2%, at a max of about 4%. We used to do more, and I noticed a difference in sales. And my personal belief was we didn't promote when we first started, and sales were not stellar. I mean, we were still learning. So, and this is my opinion. It may be different for a lot of people, but as you learn eBay, you learn better listing quality, you learn better listings, you learn to put in better details, you learn more about the item specifics that you put in. You get better at it, right? So as you get better, your listings will naturally rank higher. Now, in the beginning, when you don't know a lot, promotion helps. It pushes them up there no matter what. And if you're promoting between, I personally think if you're promoting more than 8%, you might be wasting money. Some people would disagree. There's some people I know out there that promote at 15% or 20%. That's your business model. You do it. If your margins will handle that. Personally, I like to keep my margins under 20% total, and that's eBay fees and promotion, which right now it is. So we're averaging around 17 to 18% at max of what our fees are and such. So as far as where our profit margin is, we're pretty close to that. And of course, we make the money in the buy. You buy cheap, you sell it for a little bit more, and you try to keep those margins low. But that's where we're at with, as far as how we're promoting our business. We do promote at about 2%, all the items across the board. And that's only to kind of help us try to keep up there and keep sales going. Now, I did go through a period where I didn't do it at the very beginning. And then when I started promoting, it grew. And then I went through a period where I thought, maybe I don't need to promote. And I cut it out. And I cut out about half the items that were being promoted, and the other half I didn't. Those items that I cut out, the half that I didn't promote, dropped off. They didn't sell. Our numbers went down. It was kind of a good experiment to say, okay, we got to do something. And so I started playing with numbers between 2 and 4%. Automatically right now, every listing that goes out is 2%, unless that is such a specific item that there's none other out there like it. I don't typically promote those. So that's one of the tools that we use along with the newsletters to try to promote and kind of grow our business. The other tool that we've been using more and more lately is the social media aspect of eBay. So there is, if you have a store, you can go on to the marketing page, I believe, or your store page, and you can go to social, and it will allow you to schedule out social posts, either on Instagram, Facebook, and on Pinterest. So we daily push out things that are new. We specifically pick about 2 or 3 categories that we auto send out pictures of items with links and listings that go out to people on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. So, and what's great about that is you can actually go on and review the traffic and see where that stuff's coming from. You can see how many views you're getting from Instagram, how many views you're getting from Facebook. So they do work. It's not going to set the world on fire, but I think that's another tool that we have utilized that's really helped us to kind of start to grow our business. And as a part-time seller, I don't have full-time resources to be able to throw at this. So it's really important to use all the tools that you can to help you continue to build that and to kind of grow. So that's kind of where we're at from last year to this year as far as what I think has changed. And we're going to get into another thing here in a minute, but I'm going to show you what else sold for this week. First of all, we did sell. So I actually sold 2 of these. I sold them to 2 different people. So these are vintage 1/64 scale Red Massey Harris 44 narrow front tractors. Oddly enough, both of them sold within the same day to 2 different users. And they've been up for a while. So this was part of an estate sale that we were at where we purchased a whole bunch of these old die-cast tractors and cars and such. They sold really, really well. One of these actually sold for a little bit of a discount. I think I sent out a 5% off at $13.49. The other one sold at $14.99, and they all have $4.99 shipping on it because those would be very, very easy to ship. We also sold another hat. This is from the dollar hat buy that I made a while back. This one is a MLB hat, Seattle Mariners. Yeah, Seattle Mariners. And it is, again, another one of these authentic new era performance headwear. And you can kind of see this thing is, I mean, it's minty. It's really clean and a really nice looking hat. It is a 7 3/8 fitted hat. And sometimes fitted hats don't sell real well. But I've noticed that if they're really specific like this, a fitted hat seems to do well. But we ended up getting $16.49 for that. I think that was probably part of our sale that just ended, and we'll get $4.99 shipping for those. Last but not least, we sold some more video games. And this one is a lot of 2 video games. It's the UFC 2009 Undisputed and UFC Personal Trainer with the leg strap. So this actually has a leg strap, and you can use it with this trainer. These are PS3 games. This one sold for $13.99, and we're getting $6.99 shipping for that. So all told, like I said, those are going out today. And again, this is Thursday, so fully expect we'll get some sales on Friday and Saturday, hoping. I sent out a lot of offers. We've been getting a lot of traffic. So that's, part of the other part of the tools that we use. So we do allow offers on ours, and we do get offers, but I also send out offers daily. So we'll see somebody that comes in. We like to send out offers. I try to do those all, throughout the day when I get a chance. If I pop in there and I see some that are there, I try to send out offers, and we convert. I'd estimate probably convert about, in just a normal time, probably around 10% of those. And during the holiday, it seemed like we converted probably more like 25% of those. So I do think that sending out offers is a very big tool that you should use. So the other thing I was thinking about, compared to last year, one of the big differences that I've made, and again, because we're part-time, we have to kind of find ways to take advantage of our time, right? So we don't have a lot of time to work this business, so we want to work smarter, not harder, right? So utilize the time that we have to be able to try and get the absolute most bang for what we're doing for our buck. So one of the things that we have changed recently and that I've been doing is we've been using the scheduling for listings. So I will go through and do a couple things. One, I'll list new stuff, and I have new stuff to list. If you saw my little death pile over here, I probably have about 30 things I need to get listed before this weekend, before we go away to market. And I'll probably get that done before we leave, so that I haven't put up listings while we're doing that. So I create a lot of drafts. I try to keep around maybe 50 to 80 new drafts of very new items that we are going to that we're selling, that we've just recently picked up. I try to keep those in my draft, and then as I go through, I try to about every day take maybe between 10 and 20 of those in the evenings. I'll sit down and I'll clean those drafts up, and I'll put them into the scheduler, and I will try to drop between 5 and 8 new listings a day over a scheduled period of time. So I'll set that up to start dropping at 6 a.m. on Pacific time, and I'll drop every 30 minutes until all those items are dropped, and that kind of gives me a little bit of a day where new items are dropping. So I know some people have said they don't like scheduler. I've heard that. Some people said they love the scheduler. I use the scheduler. I don't really see a difference, and somebody want to show me the difference of what it is when you're scheduling live or when you're actually just using the scheduler. I'd be curious to see what it is. But for us, I think that's been one of the big difference makers, is we're actually doing drafts and we're scheduling every day, so we're actually listing something. So that consistency of listing something every day, that our store is kind of seeing that action, I think has been maybe a key to one of our successes, so that we've been seeing some pretty good stuff. So I don't know that you have to list every single day, but I think you have to be consistent enough to list several times a week, right? So whatever that is for you, if it's, getting 20 listings up a week, I think you do 20 listings a week, as long as you're consistent about it. I think if you go 20 listings this week and then next week you don't do anything, another week you don't do anything, I think that does hurt your business over time. But if you could just take those 20 and spread them out over 5 days, maybe do 4 a day, that you'll probably start to see success. Over the holidays, we were doing 10 a day. And that was really helping the business. During normal time, when I don't have as much merchandise and inventory, I may be doing only about 5 or 8 a day. Now, in order to get more stuff, more listings, one of the other things that we're doing is we're going through our old listings, and I'm either removing stuff out of the listings, combining them and making them bigger groups, which this is what we're starting this year. So I'm going to make bundles of items that are probably easier to sell, that I can put a little bit more value on. So I'm trying to keep my bundles above $15. So I'm looking to take, things that we aren't selling, unless I have a lot of one thing. That makes sense. If you have 100 of one item and it's only one listing and you can put 100 items up, I would sell $5.99, $6.99, $7.99 all day long for those. But if you have a lot of individual items, sometimes it's easier to group them together, just like video games, right? I group together video games and I sell them in lots of anywhere from 2 to 8 games. It makes it a lot easier, and I'll get a little bit more value out of them, even though I probably only have 50 cents in some of these games. Maybe, between that and $1 at max. I, I can group them up and sell that one for $14. I'm making money off of it. So it keeps within our profit. So, but we do go back and we're looking at a lot of old listings and we're taking them down. So right now in the past 2 weeks, I've probably taken down 200, maybe 250 listings. I'm going through and I'm redoing them, right? I'm putting new descriptions on, I'm repricing them, I'm looking at why they haven't sold. And basically what I use, and we talked about this before when I said my SKU numbers, I actually have a SKU system. I know exactly when I bought that item, so I can look at that date. So I know that it was listed around that date. I can always say that I've listed it pretty close to that date. And then I would go through and I would know how long it's been up there. So I've been looking at a lot of those, and if they have 0 views for the month and 0 watchers, I will go back and pull that listing down, especially if it's 3 or 4 months old. And I'm going to go through and redo them. So we're in that process of kind of going through that right now and cleaning those up. So over the next week or so, I'm going to be reposting a lot of the listings that I pulled down as new listings. And when you do sell similar, they are a new listing, right? But you also don't want to just sell similar and put the same junk up that you had before, because if it didn't sell before, what's it going to, maybe you get a hit now and you get the right person that finds it, but the chances are you're going to have to change it. So that's one of the other techniques that we're kind of doing, the strategies that we have for this year. But I think that really has been what's been helping our business, because we went through a lull for a very long time where I just didn't have anything to list. We weren't getting very good garage sales. In the summertime around here when it's really hot, the garage sales are slow, right? So we're getting ready to come into our big buying season in the spring. That's when all the garage sales happen. That's when all the big community sales happen. That's when we try to really get out there and really hit it. So we're going to buy up a lot of inventory and be able to list that over the whole summer, hopefully. But we've got to kind of keep the business going though, and the best way to do that is to kind of keep recycling listings. Now on the other side of that, I probably have another 1,000 comics to list, right? So I'm always going to have something listing, and that's been a big part of our business recently, and that's one of the growth areas that we have. So I'll be also listing a lot of those as well. Those are easy to store and easy to list. So they don't take very long either. So we have stuff that we're kind of working on, but I just think consistency is a key. And if you're being consistent with what you're doing, I think you're going to find success too. So that's pretty much what we have for this week. Like I said, we're at about $162 for sales, $163 for sales this week. So I fully expect we'll get a few more sales on Friday and Saturday. Hopefully Sunday, we'll do a final kind of a video. I'll push that out for Monday. And then next week, we're going to be at Atlanta Market. So we're going to be doing some buying for my wife's store, and we'll kind of show some video and kind of give you guys a little view of what goes on at the Atlanta market and why it's kind of important, even for a reseller. Even though it's all new items, for resellers, we can find items to sell there, but we can also kind of see what's really trending right now. Maybe the colors that are trending, or maybe the items that are trending, or what's being really popular, or what's coming out that's really popular. And I think that's always kind of fun and what I learn every year at market. So we'll show some of that as well. So I hope you guys are having a great week. I hope your weekend is great and you have some wonderful sales, and you stay safe out there and enjoy your journey. I'm David Beckham, Breeze Flippers. We'll see you.